Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Terra Trade. My name is Terra, and it is the 18th, Sunday, the 18th of January, 2026. I am going to start being a lot more active on this channel. I'm going to do weekly weekend analysis for the anticipation price action for the upcoming week, and I'm going to be showing you all of my indicators that I use to do that. I only use my own indicators, and they're all down here at the side. A lot of them are muted right now because we're going to build up the analysis, and I'm going to show you how I do this week in, week out. And I'm also going to be uploading videos most days, showing you all the individual indicators, how they work in real time, and how you guys can use them, because you can gain access to my indicator suite. You can get individual ones, or you can just get all of them all in one big bundle. But for now, let's just dive into the analysis. This is my expectations, or anticipations, I should say. I don't do predictions. You shouldn't do predictions. Predictions will mess you up. You should be prepped above and below current price for levels and see what price does when it gets to those levels, and just be prepped with a plan. Don't try and predict. But those of you out there who, like me, like to monitor and trade market maker models, there is a concept known as internal versus external liquidity. So, ooh, interesting. I've already drawn it out once. Let me get rid of those. We'll start this again. So, internal versus external. What are the differences? What are internal versus external liquidity levels? Quite simple, really. Internal are things like fair value gaps and order blocks. External are wicks, wick tips. Those are external. On the edge is external. Inside the candles is internal. And price, when it comes to market maker models, especially on the higher time frames, this is what I look for. Price bounces from one to the other, back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Very simple. There really is no complex side of this. So, using candles indicator over here, we're going to look at the monthly first. See this fair value gap just here? Let me get rid of the trend line because it's out of the way. This fair value gap is internal liquidity. So we've got internal liquidity right here. Price came back down to it, hit it, mitigated it, and did a nice big bullish rejection back up to the upside. Internal liquidity was hit. So where are we going next? We're going to external. This is a very clear, very bullish market structure. And yes, I do believe there to be a big bear market coming, but it hasn't started yet. Don't try and predict things, anticipate them. Let the market do the talking. For now, we're bullish until proven otherwise. So on the monthly, we've just hit internal liquidity. So my expectation, especially after this big ass wick here, my expectations, we're going back to all-time highs. We already are at all-time highs on ES right now, so I have no reason to believe that NQ isn't going to play catch-up. So as of right now, the October high there, all-time high, is the target, 26,400 basically. And we seem to be going in that direction. If we look at the weekly here, we're going up. Now, the weekly is interesting because there are no fair value gaps, or barely even any order blocks in here. It's very barcodey, very choppy. But the structure is clear. We're going up. The closes are higher highs and higher lows. When you look at the daily, yeah, there's a bit of chopping around, bit of slower kind of sine wavy action. Bit of up, bit of down, bit of up, bit of down. But weekly's telling us and the monthly's telling us we're bullish. And you can see here, in fact, actually, if we zoom in on these daily candles here, you've got a good example of internal versus external happening in real time here right in front of you. So we hit internal, we then went and hit external. And the monthly is where we've gone back and done the internal to external. So overall, what's the takeaway here? I believe we're going to all-time highs. I think we're bullish. Doesn't mean we're going to rip out of the gate first thing Monday. No, it tells me overall prioritize buys on the absolute highest time frame. The overall market structure is up, and not to fight it in the meantime. So for now, that gives me a good opportunity to introduce you guys to my flow state indicators. Flow state, again, available in the link in the description, is this table down here, which is like my central control panel. And I also have a second part to it, which is the actual levels drawn on the chart. this will show it to you in 2 time frames, and it's accurate no matter what time frame you look at. You can go all the way out to the yearly, and you can still see the accurate 1 minute levels. Very difficult to figure out how to do this, but I was able to figure it out. Lots and lots of thousands of hours worth of PineScript coding to figure all this stuff out. TradingView is kind of limited actually in what it will let you do, but there's ways to do it when you know how. Anyway, we're looking at currently the 1 minute and the 4 hour. So the colored ones are the 4 hours, and this is what you get when it comes to flow state. But for now, I'm actually just I'm gonna turn the levels off. We don't need them right now. We can use my main central hub here in the middle. This is NQ on the left and ES on the right. It shows you 7 time frames from the 1 minute to the 1 month, and it gives you all your structure and flow levels, whether it's bullish and bearish. And you see I've got the levels. If you really want to, you can come in here and you can actually have it say bull and bear if that's just a little bit clearer to you. I just prefer the arrows, what I like to do. And you can customize which ones are shown, so you can turn the monthly and the weekly off and turn the 1 hour off if you only want to see these ones. If you want it to be simpler, you don't have to have it as ES. You can put in Bitcoin here and watch Bitcoin while on ES if you want to. You can do whatever you want. Very, very flexible. And this is what I keep an eye on every day. And this is telling me that we've got a lot of red happening. We've got a lot of bearish structure happening throughout multiple time frames on NQ. But the overall market structure is to the upside, as we were looking at on the candles just now. And this also gives me another opportunity to introduce you to one of the foundational indicators that I use, the isolator. Dun, 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 dun. It is this guy. You can see it does all the daily separators, the weekly separator lines too. And it is these bullish for the green and bearish for the red levels. And it gives you a lot of information. It tells you that on the 12th of December, this IFVG on the 4 hour was formed, which is there. And on the 3rd of November, this IFVG on the FVG, on the 4 hour was formed here, which is all the way back here. These levels will stay on the chart until I turn them off. And the idea is the isolator, you can isolate a candle, and it's fully automatic, and it is drag and drop. I'm going to show you what I mean by that using this one. So if you click on it, see these gray lines that appear? Well, you can have up to 5 of them. I've only got 2 active right now. We're going to build up the rest in a second. You can manually put the date in if you know exactly where it is and what candle, but you don't need to do that. You can drag and drop. So I'm going to drag that, and I'm going to drag it to that fair value gap, and it's going to automatically detect it and update it, change my date and whatnot. The only thing you have to do is make sure you're on the correct time frame. Otherwise, you won't be technically isolating the right candle. And you can drag and drop, and it can do it with order blocks and update them. So now it says block. You can do it to weekly opening gaps, which let's do it up here. It'll go grey because gaps are neutral in terms of direction, and it will update to gap there. But for now, this is the one I've had on my chart for ages. 4 hour IFVG. It was started off as a bearish fair value gap that we tested, broke back through, and have bounced out of multiple times. So this has been on here for a couple of weeks, like most of a month now at this point. This one's been up here since the start of November, and it is a 4 hour bearish FVG, and it's been respected in these last couple of weeks a bunch of times. So it's a key level, and that is what POI stands for. Show point of interest 1, point of interest 2. You can select the candle. You can combine candles just by clicking up, and it will add the next candle into it. And you can force the full candle if you want to see the full candle. And down here, each POI has its own advanced settings. The idea is that you go in here, set it up once, and you don't have to touch it again. I have a dedicated video going through this indicator in more depth so you can see how to set it up. And the idea is you never have to come in here. Like me, I don't have to leave my chart to change my point of interest. I can just drag these lines, drag and drop. Really, really proud of this one. But getting back to the analysis at hand, we've got these 2 main point of interests, and we've been bouncing between them for the past month, right, since the start of the year. So, in fact, since like November, first couple of weeks in December, we've been bouncing in and out of this. So getting back to our analysis for the upcoming week, what am I expecting? Well, how do I do this? Do I expect it to keep bouncing back and through? I expect one of these levels to break at some point. So I don't predict, I anticipate. What I'm going to do real quick, I'm just going to make this small to just kind of clear up a bit of space. This is the size I usually keep it on in the day, but I've made it a bit bigger for you guys on YouTube. What do I do next? Okay, the next indicator I'm going to introduce you to is probably one of my best indicators. This is Terra value gaps right here. This is my multi-time frame fair value gap and inversion fair value gap indicator. You can have 3 time frames active on the chart at any one time, and it automatically detects them and updates them, colors, labels, quantities for you as per your settings. Like with the isolator, the idea with my indicators is that you set up the settings once and you don't have to go back into the menu very often, if at all. And this one comes as default at 4 hour, 15 minute and 1 minute. So here are the 4 hour settings, here are the 15 minute settings, and here are the 1 minute settings. And you're currently looking at the 4 hour, because we're on the 4 hour chart. If I go down to the 1 minute chart, what you will see is, when it loads, you'll see 15 minute, there's some 1 minute fair value gaps in there. It's kind of like end of day Friday, but it'll show you the 4 hour, 15 minute and 1 minute time frame fair value gaps all layered over each other. And there's, like I said, with the isolator, there's a dedicated video. With fair value gaps, there is a dedicated video. But what I'm going to show you now is what I do at the weekends. The way I can use this indicator, it has a secondary mode as well as just this multi-time frame fair value gap levels. This other mode, I'll zoom out a little bit, is called analysis mode. I'm just going to double click into it. It's up here at the top. I tend to keep the IFVGs off, and I just have a high count of the FVGs. What we're going to do is analysis mode, unmitigated only. This is going to show me all the untouched chart FVGs. We're currently on the 4 hour, so it's going to show me all the untouched. There's one there. There's 2 down here. There are none up here. I think there's a few. There's none down here. So they go all the way back. So there's actually, yeah, there's one down here. So there's only a couple untouched 4 hour FVGs. And just to be prudent, we're going to go back to the weekly. I don't think there are any. There's one down here, but that's miles away. We're talking bear market territory to go all the way down there. Same with the daily, I expect. We have a very tiny, that's more, it's there, it's technically there, but I'm not going to pay too much attention to it, in all honesty. Not for now, anyway. Reason being, I think the next one down is that same level as the weekly we were just looking at. So we're talking bear market territory to get all the way down there. But we have no unmitigated fair value gaps. If I quickly turn on mitigated highlight, it'll show me those plus all the already touched, already mitigated daily fair value gaps. Same with the weekly. See, we had a couple of weekly levels below us. Remember what I was saying earlier about internal versus external, internal, external? We've just come back and touched 2 levels of weekly internal, which means we're now going back to external. So I still think monthly and weekly, we're going to all-time highs. Anyway, let's carry on with the analysis. We go back to the 4 hour, and I'm going to go back to unmitigated only. This is my go-to method for analysis. It's showing me a 4 hour bearish fair value gap above us and 2 unmitigated fair value gaps below us. What I'm now going to do is I'm going to use the isolator to isolate this one at the bottom. Because these ones are stacked next to each other, go to the furthest one. So this is the one that's got my interest. I'm going to ignore this one because if we go to here, we're going to touch this one, basically, is my expectations. So what we're going to do, we're going to go into the isolator and we're going to isolate this fair value gap. And it happens to be on 4 hour, it's the 18th of December. Now, oops, I clicked into the wrong thing. We'll click into there. I did this already. I was already recording, I was already doing my analysis, and I thought to myself, why aren't I recording this? I should just record. So POI 4, I've already set up to this one right here. Now I'm going to go up to the top. POI 4, show POI 4. My time frame is correct. Just like that, we've added this 4 hour fair value gap. If I go down to the 4 hour here, show date, just for the fun of it. You can see here in the bias suffix, I've manually written last chance and bear market. This indicator flips from bullish to bearish, and it will display last chance until we close a 4-hour candle below it. When we do that, it'll flip red and it will show bear market where it says last chance there. You can customize this. Really comfortable. And I don't need to touch this. I can just leave it where it is. So this level has my interest, right? And we've now done, and we got this level here. So technically speaking, in fact, I actually already have. So let's go in here. If I show the labels here, it will put a label on all of them. So it's labeled POI 5. Okay, 4 hour. Let's turn that on. We've got a level below us and a level above us. POI 5. Great. Let's turn that off for the time being because it gets in the way a little bit. And you can drag and drop. Like I said, I can drag this over to here and it will highlight that candle for me. I can drag it over to there, highlights that candle for me. Very quick, very easy. Man, it's so easy. I adore. It's the foundation of my entire charting style now, this indicator. I love it. The isolator. Very powerful. Combined with fair value gaps like we're doing. So we're on the 4 hour. We've done our 4-hour analysis. We've got nothing on the weekly, nothing on the daily. We had a couple layers on the 4 hour. Let's go down to the 1 hour. And this is interesting because we have a 1 hour overlapping the 4 hour that we've already lapped out. So we can ignore that one. And we have the same thing happening down here. See that little 1 hour at the same level as our 4 hour? We can ignore the 1 hour because we've already got it marked up, basically. If we zoom out, there is a 1 hour. Well, let me zoom in for you. There's a 1 hour just above our 4 hour level there. We've got a 1 hour right up there at all-time highs. So if we make it back up here, we're going to all-time highs anyway, so I'm not too bothered about this one. If we come up to our level here, we could wick through the top of it and hit this level here. So again, not too worried about marking it out. We've kind of already got our main level, which is this guy. We've been bouncing in and out of it for 2 weeks at this point. So I'm just going to keep an eye on this one. Price could absolutely, I'm expecting price eventually to go through it anyway. So I'm not interested in having a 1 hour level just above it. You know, you can pick and choose what you want. And we've got this 4 hour gap that's been here for weeks at this point, just above our 1 hour unmitigated level just there. So I'm not going to mark this one out because this one I expect will just come wick straight through it and just come down to this level again. That's what I would expect to happen. And we've already got this level marked out. So when it comes to these higher time frame analysis, I only ever really go down to the 1 hour. Going down to the 15 minutes, a little bit overkill, a little bit too intraday. So in terms of marking out our levels, you know what? I think, yeah, I do have that POI on number 5 marked out. So screw it. Let's leave it on there. Why not? It's a little overkill, but why not? You never know. Price might be about to turn around. It might come down, hit this, not retouch this level again, and bounce. I could be screwing myself, actually, if I'm waiting for this one. So let's leave it on there. Let's leave it on there. So as far as I'm concerned, we've got all our levels. We've got a couple levels above us, and we've got a couple levels below us. We've got absolute last chance, last line in the sand all the way down here. I don't expect this level to be reached. I expect price to... we're currently doing some bearish pullbacks. I expect price to come down, maybe come up here first, bounce off this trend line. Maybe we'll come down here, do something like this. Breakout, retest, resumption. Maybe something like that. Yeah, I could see that happening quite easily. I could see us coming straight out of the gate, up to the trend line, breaking back down, and then doing something like that. You never know, you know. Prediction is not the name of the game. Anticipation and preparation is. I prep for levels below, I prep for levels above. I watch to see what price does at my levels. If price starts showing me a smart money reversal with some SMTs, then yeah, I'm interested in taking a trade. Speaking of SMT, I'm going to turn on my SMT indicators because these are time cycle SMTs. It marks out Asia, London, New York, 90, 30, 10, and even 3-minute SMTs. I got some display settings so you can hide them when you go into the higher time frames. And also, 369 is a somewhat advanced concept that you can apply. My SMT accounts for it, and it changes the label. So if I go down to the 1 minute, you see this 30-minute is white because it's not a 369. These levels here are 369 SMTs. The 369s have extra weight to them, extra confluence. Doesn't mean that you ignore the ones without it. Like here, the London SMT at the top here, when we bounced off our trend line, that wasn't technically an SMT, that was a 4. 931, that's a 4 number, it's not 369. But anyway, let me, now that we're done actually, I'm going to turn off analysis mode and it's going to go back to the 4 hour, 15 minute and the 1 minute. There you go, you can see the levels there. And the grey border means it's been mitigated. And this indicator, but just so you know, the fair value gaps, it will automatically redraw and draw them out lengthways. So this indicate the reason this is so long, all the way down here, comes from all the way over here. Yeah, the reason it just keeps getting longer and longer, the indicator's drawing it for me. I don't touch the indicator. It automatically detects when price retraces into one of these levels and redraws it and resizes it for you. Super cool. Love it, actually. It's really awesome. I'm really, really proud of this one. But anyway, so we have SMT. What I would like to see in the upcoming week is I would like to see price. It could come up. It could come up to the level up here. Do something like this. But I want to see it come down here to these levels. Then I want to see a structure break and an SMT at the bottom. I want to see daily or weekly SMTs here at this level. I want to see previous day or previous week taken out on ES or NQ, but not on the other one. I want to see an SMT. Like if I zoom out, we've got a daily SMT down here. That was perfect. We've got yearly, monthly at the top here. Perfect. That's what I want to see. At the major inflection points, I want to see SMT. Here, down here, I want to see high time frame SMTs. Like here we had London and the overnight sessions, they're the lowest level SMT that I want to see for a major reversal. Yes, you can trade intraday 90 minutes. Absolutely, you should do. If you're confident with them. At the very least, trade the overnight session SMTs. But down here for a reversal, I want to see something like this, and I want to see an SMT at the bottom. And I want to see it at these levels. That's when I expect a bullish reversal back up to continue the bullish uptrend that we are very much in. So that's what I'm kind of anticipating at the moment. That's what I would like to see. And if we don't, doesn't matter. I've got my levels marked out already. Anyway. And what I'm going to show you now, I'm going to quickly turn on my cycles indicator. Cycles indicator draws out my levels for me automatically. It does the 15-minute orb. It draws out my previous day, weeks, months, quarterly and yearly levels, Asia and London levels. In fact, I'll show it to you. You can use the kill zones here. I'm actually going to update this indicator. I had an idea earlier this morning. I'm going to have it draw the full session and kill zone sessions. Currently it does all, but I'm going to update it so it does both. So I'm going to do that update probably this afternoon. And you can draw boxes if you want to see boxes. There and there. You can have labels on it if you want to have labels on it. I personally don't. I have the labels on and on. If I go down to the 1 minute, I'll show you what I do. These boxes here are the 90-minute cycles. See here we had 90-minute SMTs. You can turn them off and have just the key levels. The key levels are here. You can have the sweeps continue to extend, or you can have them turn off and stop when they get swept. You can have all of your 90 minutes, you can have all your 30 minutes and 10 minutes if you really want them, but the chart does get a little hectic. As you'll see in a second, you're about to see, yeah, levels all over the place. So it's a little overkill, but you guys can tailor this how you want. These here are your swept levels. I like keeping 2 90-minute sweep levels on my chart. You've got 2 up to the top and 2 below. And these here are your opening levels. These will stay on your chart all the time. And that's these guys up here with the grey line with the dots. So that's your true day opening, your 9:30 open, the current cycle open. And that will update depending on what cycles you have being shown on that indicator. And you got this one's a little bit clumped up because we're at the start of the year. It's the yearly, monthly, and weekly open, all kind of clumped up together there. Excuse me, not weekly. It's the monthly, yearly, and quarterly all overlaid together. It's like, okay, they'll separate out over time as the year carries on. We've got the weekly up here. right next to the previous day high. So those are liquidity levels. The 15-minute orb, very, very powerful set of levels. There's a strategy just based around orb breakouts. If you set your 15-minute orb, and if price breaks out and closes below it, retests and resumes, you could have absolutely taken close below, retest, and trade off. Straight dump down to the 4-hour IFVG level that we had. And we went straight through London, and we went straight through Asia. So, very powerful. And what's interesting, like I said, I'm going to have it do kill zones and the full session. If I untick the kill zones, we had a London sweep at the top here, and look at this Asia sweep. You could have targeted both. So this made me realize I should have both in here instead of one or the other. So that will be updated very soon. And anyway, starting to ramble at this point. The only thing I have left to show you guys is my profile indicator. This is a volume profile, and like my other indicators, it automatically detects what time frame you're on as per your settings, and it will jump between the weekly, daily, and monthly volume profile. And what it does, I have a whole analysis strategy built around previous week's point of control levels. If I zoom out a little bit, you can see them here, the yellow lines. Weekly point of control, weekly point of control, weekly point of control, weekly point of control. Here's a fantastic example of why I track this and why I built this entire indicator was actually just to have these levels. Look here. Previous week's point of control. Price came down and touched it. Price came down and touched it. Price came up and touched it. Price came up and touched it. Price came up and touched it before it turbo reversed. Right? This level is a really impactful level. I mean, look at this. Last week, price opened after doing a really bullish Friday, dumped straight down to the previous week's, and then turbo reversed back up to the upside. You absolutely anticipate a reversal at the previous week's point of control. So this indicator, I like having it on because it's kind of cool watching it. It's useful. You know, you can see we finished at the value area low for the week. What's going to happen when market opens in a couple hours from now? I'm recording this on a Sunday afternoon. Night, when market opens, the indicator is going to draw this level right here. This will be another layer between these two FVGs, 4-hour FVGs. There's going to be a yellow weekly point of control level just there. If I zoom out, that's where it's going to be. So I absolutely could see price do this, wick up, hit it, fail to hit this one, or maybe it does, who knows, maybe it does something like this, and then drop down to do this one like this. Who knows? I don't. I'm anticipating for all possibilities. That's why all my indicators, they draw out all my levels for me. You know, the cycles indicator draws out all my, you know, my London, my weekly, my daily levels. You know, previous day weeks, previous months week, previous day low, which is going to update to here. The previous week's low will update to here. And here's another thing I'll point out. Previous week's low was over here. Tonight, on Sunday, when market opens, this level is going to update to here. Well, this is still an unswept level. So there's going to be two previous week levels right here in the middle of our FVG. So price could, like I'm saying, when I'm expecting it, I do expect it to come down before it goes up. Quick wick down to take up both of those levels, then start reversing, breakout, retest, and resumption of the trend. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Not me. Anticipate but don't predict. Predictions screw you up. They lock you into a bias that can absolutely screw you. Let the market do the talking. Anyway, that's enough rambling for me for one day. I dread to think how long this video has gone on. Probably half an hour, 20 minutes. But, you know, I'm introducing you guys to my indicators. And speaking of my indicators, these indicators, they're all available. I have more as well. I have a whole fib level indicator, which I'm just going to quickly flick on. Pause it and have a look at how accurate these fib levels are. Again, the fibs, they act the same way as the isolator. So I can isolate specific candles and it'll automatically draw fibs for me. Really cool. And it has some key level fibs in there. And the fibs is something I'll show you intraday. Fibs is an intraday thing. I use it for levels as price travels back and forth between. Really, really useful. It's not really a weekly analysis tool. intraday stuff. My flow state levels, the structure table, the flow table at the bottom, it comes with, if you get it on its own, I do have an everything bundle where you can get all of my indicators all together. And you just pick and choose which ones work for you and which ones you like. I don't always have all of them on because it can get a little bit cluttered. I call it the laser show. But it's really useful because you can see whatever time frames you want to monitor, you can monitor them all the time. Let me close that. So these levels, the colored ones, they're your 4 hours and you've got your 1 minutes in the middle there. And the only thing that I haven't shown you guys is my countdown indicator. This is getting a big update. It's actually been out for a little while. If I go back, let's go back to Thursday. See up here? This is countdowns. The countdowns does a lot of stuff. It shows you the current time. You can count down specific time frames. You can count down custom times. And like here, I have the 4 hour and the 15-minute candles. So it constantly ticks down and tells me when those time frames are going to close. I can count down to specific times if I want. Our hour is 15. And here's the most powerful part. This imports Forex Factory news events and displays them on your chart. And it displays them in a table, which you can put in any corner. You can have any color news impact. You can have any currency you want. See here, here's all the yellows. Tells you when. And I don't know if you can see this. I'm going to make them bright for a second. Let's do it yellow. See these gray lines and these yellow and these red lines, and these are when the news events happen. So these upcoming news events, they're drawn out. And not only that, price will update and draw a big don't trade for those of you who, like me, trade prop firms that have news restriction rules. So if you can't trade, 2 or 5 minutes before and after a news event, this indicator accommodates that. It has a big old sign here that says don't trade. And you can set in here, you can tell it 2 minutes before and after the event. You can set that to 5 minutes. If you need a little extra, you can set it to 15 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour, whatever you want. You can change the text that it says. You can turn this off if you don't want to see it. And you can customize what indicators you want. Do you want to see just today and tomorrow? Just today's news events? Or do you want to see the full week? This Thursday and Friday, so it's showing you the full week. Well, there's the full week. So you can see the grey ones, what have passed already. And you can turn off the yellow and see just red and orange. If you want to see it that way, a bit more condensed, you can see just the red news if you want. Very, very powerful indicator. And this imports all of this automatically every week from Forex Factory. So fully hands-off, fully automatic. I love this indicator. It's very, very powerful, very, very useful. I never miss a news event. I don't have to leave my chart to know when there's news events coming up. Think about that. You'll never miss a news event. You'll never accidentally trade and blow your account because the indicator tells you when you can trade and when you can't. It tells you what's coming up and it will count down. These indicators, they count down. I'm in replayer mode on the 15 minutes, so it doesn't really show you. But yeah, you get the idea, I'm sure. You can get access to all of these indicators in the link below. There is an everything bundle if you want all of them. And if you like the idea of just one of them or two of them and you want to only get a couple of them, you can get them individually as well. I'm a one-man army, so if you do find any bugs or have any issues with them, just let me know on WhatsApp. I will get back to you. And I use these myself, so I'll absolutely jump on any issues and bugs that come up. Just send me a screenshot, tell me when it happened so I can replicate it myself, and I'll jump right on it and fix it. But there we go, folks. That's my analysis for the week. I zoom back out. Let's close that, get rid of that, and just have a quick look. My expectations are we've got these levels above and these levels below. Absolute last chance down here before bear market. I don't think we're doing bear market. I think we're going to take out some levels to the downside, and then we're going to break through this trend line, and we're going to continue to all-time highs. That is my expectation. So, bit of a dip, and then a continue to rip. That's what I expect. we'll see what the market gives us. Until then, I'll see you in the week, because I'm going to be doing most days, maybe all days. I don't know. We'll see how much free time I have. But I'm going to do regular videos just showcasing the indicators and how they act day to day, and show you how you could have used them and how they operate. Yeah, that's enough rambling from me. My name is Terra. Thanks so much for paying attention. The fact that you're even still here at the end of this long rambly video, props to you. See you in the next one. Take care.